Aries. Thank you for joining me here at Leaping Lettuce Tarot. My name is Addison if you're new here. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much. I'm going to clear this deck out with this really cool tiger's eye. I think it's called Bullseye. Starting out with an oracle message, The Soul's Journey by James von Praagh, a very cool spiritual medium. Been in the business for decades. He's one of the best, so I love this oracle, and let's just jump right in. Let's see what Aries needs to hear. How are we starting this reading off for Aries? Once we pull a couple oracle messages, we'll jump into the tarot. Okay, and we got two, just like, oh, cool. Balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. Wow. This is a really pretty card. I haven't gotten this one out yet. Balance. Okay, let's see what the other one says. Purpose. I get this one a lot, actually. I know what I'm here to do. Okay, so this could be, I've talked about this a little bit before, but this could be when you have a purpose. Well, we all have a purpose, right? Let's just start off there. But people are, when they're trying to figure out their purpose, or they're trying to understand like why they're really here, what is their gift, what are they trying to bring to the table for people? What kind of skills do they have that are even able to be monetized? And so it's interesting that this card says purpose. I know what I'm here to do, because I feel like so many of us struggle with the concept of like, do I know what I'm here to do? Like for sure. And there's kind of a call here for like a state of balance with it, to kind of come into harmony with the fact that you can't, sorry, I had to pause it there for a second. My dog was drinking water right by my phone here. It's really loud. So balance, right? I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. So what I was saying before is, with not knowing your full purpose, like you may have an idea of knowing what your skill sets are, knowing what you do bring to the table, but it's kind of like, okay, maybe you have multiple skill sets and you're like, which one should I really like harness and really try to take advantage of, right? And this is kind of saying that there's a call for balance, in the sense that you kind of need to surrender and trust a bit in the fact that us being here is so intentional and so purposeful that there's kind of no way that the universe or the divine is going to allow you to live this life without giving your purpose. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but people on, how do I get into this? People who are currently alive on the planet are here for a reason. They still have a mission to fulfill. There's still a purpose that they're giving. People, I always kind of reference this because I find it so intriguing, and I think it's a really interesting reference point and has a lot of data behind it, but near-death experiences. People come back from dying, not fully dying, right? But I mean, heart stop, brain waves stop, come back into their body. Usually because they make the choice to do so, or sometimes they're not even really given a choice. They're just told you have to go back. It's not your time. And that's because you have a purpose left to fulfill. Some scenarios, they'll give you an option. They'll say, would you like to go or would you like to stay? And most of the time, people want to stay. They want to stay in the divine, the embodiment of love that surrounds them. They feel really free. They're not entrapped by a sick body or, whatever ailment that brought them to the point of death. And so they want to stay there, but they have to come back because there's a purpose. Now, if you're fully on the other side and you've left, you've either fulfilled your mission, like you did what you were meant to do, or you basically need to be recycled back through the process to try again. And that's essentially reincarnation. So not everyone's going to resonate with those things, but those types of ideologies and concepts and beliefs come from, these are rooted in Vedic tradition, very thousands of years old, the Egyptians, and there's even aspects of Christianity too that embody some of these concepts, not fully, but there's piece parts of it, right? So take it how it resonates for you. But what I'm getting here is, like, if you're still here and you have a gift, you are meant to give it. There's no way that you're not going to be able to give it, basically, because if you don't, or you're going to die, we're going to die anyway. But it's like hurdles will be put in your path, or you'll have a moment of awakening, or just things will happen that are going to lead you down the path. So especially, and it'll be easier, there'll be less hurdles with that trust, with that belief in I have a purpose, I have something to give. Everything is in harmony, everything is perfectly on time, and not judge yourself at what stage you are in the process, especially in comparison to others. So with all of that, let's jump into this tarot deck and see how we can further expand upon this concept here with balancing your purpose and perhaps your judgments around the fact that maybe you feel like you haven't achieved it yet, or even if you're in a later stage of life and you're like, have I, done everything that I really wanted to do? Just that sort of concept maybe. We've got one out so far. Is there anything else? Okay. First, we have Five of Swords reversed. Let's take a look at this imagery here. This is there's like a pharaoh in the background. Seems like an empowered masculine energy. And there's this feminine here who's got her head in her hands and she's a little emotional, maybe feeling like she's lesser than in some way, or that she was betrayed or left behind, or because if you think about the typical Five of Swords depiction too, it's a man with a sword on the beach and the other people sort of drop their swords and are walking away and he's kind of looking over his shoulder like, oh, okay, I guess I'm alone here. I guess I'm moving forward without you guys. And it's reversed. Remember, this came out reversed. So this could be a past energy that you are working through, feeling betrayed, feeling left behind. Let's see what else we have here. Knight of Cups reversed. Could be a masculine energy who maybe to you at one time seemed like a lot more than he was. Like it was like you had an illusion or perception of him being like this emotional connection, this thing that you had a lot of feelings for, and he ended up not really being what you thought in some capacity. So this is kind of going down a romantic path so far, but I have a feeling that this is going to shift because this is just the beginning cards. And if you only stay tuned for the beginning and just listening to how the cards, you're like, oh, I don't resonate with that. But I have to ask and expand upon the cards as I move through the reading, and that'll get more narrowed and focused and sort of like, okay, this is the message that's trying to come through. This is the intention of this message. So this is just, it's sort of like an umbrella. It's like these are the beginning cards, and then we're going to kind of funnel down and get more specific. So just hold on with me here if you're not resonating so far with a romantic connection. Ten of Swords. Wow. I haven't seen this one in this deck. There is a man in a boat, and there's like some blood going on here. Oh, fingers chopped off. Knocked out of the boat and drowning. Holy moly. And there is a lot of water kind of going on in this. So with this Knight of Cups, we have like a horse standing in the water. Empowered masculine with this bird on his arm. And in this thing, there actually isn't water in this one. It sort of looks like there would be sort of like water, like, or she's like submerged in some aspect here. So I'm getting some, this is kind of reminding me of depression actually. There could have very much been a betrayal here with this Ten of Swords and this somebody like throwing somebody may have been totally thrown under the bus and betrayed. Possibly. This seems like a past energy just since that Five of Swords was reversed, but this Ten of Swords was upright. So there's some sort of lingering pain around this, some sort of, maybe you're still in connection with this masculine in some way, like maybe you still communicate. Because Swords is communication energy. And I'm just trying to keep in mind too, this purpose and balance card that we got in the beginning. So tell me more about this balance that's kind of had to happen regarding this Knight of Cups reversed energy. We've got a couple that are sort of sticking out here. I feel called to take them, even though they didn't fall out. Ooh, Three of Cups and Three of Coins. Wow, 3 and 3. Interesting. So I said, what was this balance that we were talking about in regards to the Knight of Cups reversed? And we have 3s and 3s. Like that's very balancing. So there's something about, Pentacles and Coins, balancing emotion and stability, emotion and finances, emotion, feelings and love with maybe reality. So this may be what you feel about the situation. There may be like, or this is what you're hoping. Like this is like very like optimistic, like balanced, harmonious, maybe, I mean, it's all feminine energies here, but this could be the reality of the situation. you may feel like you've got these best friends, these people who are supporting you, have your back, but the reality is that there's two sort of betraying, thieving, nasty energies behind you, and you're the only one sitting here dancing and thinking, you know, you're this girl in the white dress or whatever, like you're, you know, sitting there thinking everything's great and everything's fine, and it's not the case. You've got these two other people that are, yeah, it's interesting too, because there's the blue, and then the red and the red. I don't know. I've never had like the 2 3s come out like this after asking about balance. So there's something about like a reality check here, something about betrayal for sure. Some people not seeing as being, as they're not what they seem, is what it's seeming like. Wow. Okay. So that's what needs to come into balance. Tell me more about this betrayal or this 10 of Swords. What's going on? What is all this malicious intention? King of Swords. Again, I haven't gotten this card before. This looks like a There could be a masculine energy that these two other women are sort of either fighting each other for or fighting you for, or it's like maybe they're supporting you to your face about you being with a King of Swords and a particular masculine energy, but really maybe one of them wants, because these two are sort of in the same energy, right? So it's either they're both like coming for you, like they both either want that masculine in some aspect, or they just don't want you to have them, or one of them is closer friends with the other friend and one of them wants him more and is, you know, they're kind of working together to either maybe sabotage the situation. Is there an aspect of sabotage here in this situation? You know, I feel bad because I wanted to do an Aries reading. The last Aries reading I did was like 11 days ago, and it was a trigger warning reading, and it was really heavy about like your belief systems and stuff like that. You know, you really could just be justifying things to yourself and having these beliefs about like, oh, these are my friends. No, I've known them for so long. Like they would never do that. And it's like, what have you convinced yourself of? That may not be reality. 4 of Swords reversed. You seem like a very sweet person. You seem like somebody who's very open and loving and gives the benefit of the doubt to people. And the 4 of Swords reverse is like, this is like, you actually need to take some time and sit with yourself and think a little bit more about the situation and contemplate and really kind of meditate and like ground yourself into like, okay, like let's break this down and like look at the real picture. What's really going on here? Because the 4 of Swords is like meditation. It's, you know, laying down in sort of a recumbent, like almost like a coffin. It's like I like really taking the time to think something out to where like you're not even really giving energy to anything else. And it's reversed. So you're not doing that, right? You're not taking the time you need to really consider what's going on here. 8 of Cups. You may need to consider moving on from this friendship perhaps. Leaving things behind you that you thought were emotional cups of fulfillment and having to walk away and following your intuition with the moon here and going down your own path, walking on your own. And that may be something that you may have to do for yourself. Any other advice from the Oracle real quick? I don't think I'm going to put a trigger warning on this one, because I'm just going to say that if it's not resonating for you, then, you know, just move on to another message. But this one's coming through pretty clearly. So any other words of advice here from the Oracle deck? Success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. Like I said, you're somebody who's a very, I don't want to say you're an emotional person, but you have compassion. You have compassion and you have a lot of sympathy. And I think you've been through some stuff. I think you've been through betrayals before, and I think you've been through heavier things than this. And so in comparison to other things, this isn't that bad. And so that's part of kind of how you justify being treated a certain way or denying being treated a certain way. I know that there's no greater goal than to love. this I did kind of hear when I first saw this card was self-love. You know, treating yourself with self-love in this aspect may look like the Eight of Cups and walking away and moving on towards something that serves you better energetically. But not because you hate on these people or because you have any sort of reciprocating malice for them. You're still in a dancing, beautiful energy. You're still totally positive, and you're just letting them be what they are energetically and loving them regardless, not letting them take from your energy anymore, though. Not letting them, you know, treat you like a 10 of swords situation here, throwing you off the boat, cutting off your fingers, and it's just so extreme, that imagery. The betrayal here just feels very, it's very malicious, very just like not compassionate on their end of things. And so in the beginning, I talked about purpose and balance, and it's interesting that success is coming out too, because I was talking about it initially in the context of like work or like knowing what talents and gifts you have to give to the community, and you know, like your purpose on earth. And your purpose on earth is definitely to love. It is for all of us, but for you especially. You may be a healer, you may be a teacher, you may be somebody who is like a nurse, somebody who's just very much in the business of helping people, showing them through your actions a higher path through love and hopefully more self-acceptance, a little more self-love here, and not just giving so much benefit of the doubt if it's not serving you. Anything else from the tarot? The Magician reversed. This is what the imagery looks like upright. Magician reversed is Gemini Virgo energy. A final message from the tarot. The Magician can kind of be somebody a little bit of, you know, trickery and deceit, especially when it's in the reverse reverse position. But even saying decision, I'm wondering if there is an aspect of some sort of work dynamic, because this masculine energy may not be a romantic connection at all. It may not be a masculine that you guys are fighting for. This could be a job role. Like there could be a masculine energy in like the leadership sort of, you know, position here, you know, his sort of stance. And there's like a fight for a job role, or a, you know, somebody's trying to say, oh yeah, we think you'd be great for the role, but really secretly they're putting, you know, they're whispering in that leader's ear, oh, you know, but really, you know, she doesn't have these certain traits, or she hasn't been with the company long enough, and I think so-and-so is going to be a better fit for the role. And, you know, they just may be kind of collaborating in that sense behind your back, trying to like, you know, saying, oh yeah, you deserve it, but then behind your back being like, you know, is she ready? You know, you know. So with that Magician being reversed, it does just kind of allude again to that trickery and deceit, and perhaps like just, because I mean, this feminine energy, almost, she's so sweet and so beautiful. It's like she really just doesn't know any better, or like she just is like, there's no way that that's what's happening. There's no way that that's what's going on behind my back. I get a sense of like sort of denial here about people really doing that to you. Like I said, you may have been friends with these people for a while or worked with these people for a while. All right, let's wrap this up. One final oracle message. One final thing to tie this all together, wrap it all up. Maybe some more advice. I just want to end it on a positive note. I hate readings being love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. Okay, this is gorgeous. This is very similar to that success thing too that was coming out. And it says, I know that there is no greater goal than to love. And here it says love. I asked, like, what's a message? What's the advice? The advice is to love. The advice is to commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. So regardless of this betrayal that you may be facing, regardless of this balancing act of trying to, you know, the relationship between people and trying to make something, you know, maybe perhaps emotional, you know, make sense with the work balance. You know, it's throughout the whole process, you have to love. You have to love, even if you have to move on from something, even if you have to walk away with this Eight of Cups and you have to kind of face the music, face your own truth, do it alone, be independent. even if that is the case, you can do it all with love and acceptance. And no matter what kind of energy other people bring to the table, you are above that. You are a loving, compassionate person. So don't stoop to their level. You know, don't try not to be in an energy of hate or malice for them, because then at that point you're just matching their energy and it's not going to help the situation whatsoever. You are above that, and you're strong, you're tough, you've been through harder than this, I get the impression, and you're very compassionate. And I think that just moving on in a healthy, beautiful way, like, you know, I send you guys with love. I have this has been a great experience. I've learned a lot, but I need to move on to other things that are going to be more in alignment with my personality, my level of compassion and excitement, and for whatever this thing is. So I hope that resonated for you. Hit a like or a comment if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you feel so inspired to tune in and hear some more of my readings that hopefully speak to you. And if not, just leave it for somebody else. We will see you next time. Thanks again, Aries.